What's happening right now in the gaming space is just not normal. And I think most people understand that, but I also realize we're now in year 6 of this generation. So all the people who've come in this generation specifically buying maybe their system for the first time on their own, all they know is that the systems keep getting more expensive. And it's kind of a shame because even going back to the PS4 or the Xbox One generation, we were seeing price decreases, but certainly in the previous generation, we saw a ton of them. So what I want to do today is something I've done before where I'm able to go through and find, and trust me, sometimes it's pretty difficult to find some of these, but find different circulars, moments, or snapshots in time of how things used to be. And it's fun, it's nostalgic, somewhat depressing as well, just with the current climate in gaming. But I thought we'd have some fun here over the weekend and take a look at a time forever ago, which was actually like 2012. I guess that's technically almost 14 years ago. It's crazy to think that, but that's what we'll do here today. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. I do want to take a quick moment, though, to thank the sponsor for today's video, and that's War Thunder. It's one of the most comprehensive vehicle combat games available today, and it's completely free to play on PC, consoles, and now mobile devices. What really sticks out to me is the sheer scale of the game. You can take command of more than 2,500 different vehicles, including tanks, aircraft, helicopters, and warships spanning over a century of military history. Whether you're interested in classic World War II machines, Cold War hardware, or modern main battle tanks and fighter jets, there's an incredible amount of content to dig into. Instead of simple health bars, vehicles are modeled down to individual components like engines, fuel tanks, ammunition storage, and crew positions. When a vehicle is destroyed, the X-ray system actually shows you what happened, where the shot penetrated, and exactly what caused the knockout. It's a really unique approach that adds a lot of depth to every battle. War Thunder also offers multiple ways to play, from more accessible arcade-style battles to realistic and simulator modes if you're looking for a greater challenge. And with over 95 million players worldwide, you'll always find massive battles waiting. You can start playing War Thunder for free right now using my links in the pinned comment and video description. New players and returning players who haven't played in at least 6 months on PC and consoles can also claim a special limited time bonus pack that includes the exclusive Eagle of Valor, 100,000 Silver Lions, and 7 days of premium account time. So make sure you check out War Thunder using my links down below and claim that bonus today. Big shout out once again to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. All right, so check this out. GameStop Holiday 2012. All right, this would have been Black Friday, so right at the end of November. And I thought a bit about, okay, what was the year before the Xbox One or the PS4 showed up, right? Because, I mean, people are speculating that holiday 2027, we could be talking about new systems with a PS6 and whatever comes out of this Project Helix thing. Sounds disastrous right now with the market of maybe $1,000 plus consoles hitting the store shelves, but we'll see. Here, though, you can kind of line it up then, right? In that case, 2012, just before the PS4 and the Xbox One were at least starting to be talked about. The PS4 initially had its first real kind of reveal February, I believe, 2013, so this would have been like 3 or 4 months before then. But like right away, I mean, you have an Xbox 360 Slim, 250 gigabytes with 3 games. That's Forza Motorsport 4, Black Ops 2, and then a download code of Skyrim. By the way, at this time, downloading a full game was still relatively new. I think it had been maybe 2 years of that when this download code was dropped in. So even that was kind of weird, but also seemed kind of premium a bit. It's like, oh, wow, yeah, 250 gigabyte hard drive. I could download all of Skyrim. It's crazy. Again, it was different times. But then the PS3 on the other side, a 250 gigabyte Blu-ray equipped PlayStation 3, $200 with 5 games. Okay, well, one of the games was the Uncharted like double pack that they had there with 1 and 2, and then there was the Infamous collection, and then they had like PlayStation Plus thrown in there. That was also like somewhat new then, right? But I mean, you can see compared to where things started with even the 360, while that was a $400 system when it released in 2005, it was nowhere near on the quality level of the Slim that also had Wi-Fi built in and an HDMI port. $250 though, significantly larger, like 10 times the size in terms of the hard drive capacity launch versus here. And then the PS3, I mean, $200 obviously versus $600. Yes, they took out PS2 compatibility, but also more reliable with the Slim. So then we move up here, and we have just some different games that are on sale. We'll get to some of the 3DS stuff because that is here. And then, I mean, we had Pokemon Black and White 2 that had released $35 each. Man, what a world that would be to go back in time and just stock up. I'm sure people now would just fill up an entire shopping cart with these different brand new Pokemon games because I think even Game Boy Advance games were still kind of floating around at different GameStops at that time. So, I'm sure people would have gone crazy there. But, I mean, the 3DS wasn't exactly old at this point. This was holiday 2012. But you still had a couple of games coming with it at $170. Look, you can even pick, apparently, Nintendogs if you want there, plus cats. Or you can just get a 3DS for $170 brand new. The 3DS scene is something else right now. And then finally we get to the Wii U. It's kind of on like gotta go a couple pages in. $350 for the 32 gigabyte model, $300 for the 8 gigabyte model. This would have been right when the Wii U came out. Since this is a Black Friday sale, like the circular, there were going to be no Black Friday sales at all for the Wii U. Even though the Wii U, as it went along, eventually fell off pretty hard, at least at launch, you had Nintendo fans there who were interested in the system enough for it to sell through. Microsoft was still kind of pushing the Kinect, mostly through different bundles, like the Star Wars bundle. The system was cool. It was like the R2-D2 one. It made the R2-D2 noise and everything. Unfortunately, the game, not great. You could save $30 though. It's $350 instead of $380. Kinect was mostly good for some of the more like the party-centric games, like Kinect Sports was fun, Kinect Adventure, Dance Central. Those were, I think, big-time games for the Kinect. But those are like the ones that I mostly remember, and that was kind of it. Or I guess it was also in, which Paranormal Activity was it in, where they turned the lights off and there were dots all over the room. For some reason, that's always stuck with me. It's like, oh, okay, that's how the Kinect tracks you. That's how a lot of us learned that was the case. Okay, so then we move up to the 360 here. The 4 gigabyte model was coming in at $200. And yeah, I mean, look, you could still play a lot of the games off of the disc, but I think around this point, we were just installing a lot of games to our hard drives back then, because Microsoft did offer that in an update years prior. And that's just, I remember doing that for as many games as I could. And I did have the 250 gigabyte Slim, so I did that with most of my games with that. And then Halo 4, look, compared to what we're getting now, Halo 4, pretty good. Compared to what we were coming off of, it wasn't a great time still, even visually speaking, it looked really good. I will give them that. Like, graphics-wise, that's probably some of the best on the 360. Have our PS3 page here. There's the PS3 Super Slim system with the sliding top. It's at $270, a 250 gigabyte hard drive, Uncharted 3 Game of the Year bundle. So you have Uncharted 3, a DualShock 3 wireless controller, the AC power cord, AV cable, which people tend to forget. Even in 2012, you got an AV cable with your PlayStation 3 system. Also, you get Dust. So, there's that. Max Payne 3 get a nice spotlight here, by the way, at $20. That's a game that I do wish had, I guess, like a remaster. I mean, on PC, it's better, but I think if it's backwards compatible in the Xbox Series, but it has no enhancements. There's no FPS boost, like nothing. So I think it would be really cool if we did get some kind of remaster or just new release for Max Payne 3. Oh, we got the Vita page, and it's the Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation, which is fine, but ooh, the white Vita there, $200 for a Vita. Even it's right now, it's like, yeah, obviously I'll buy that brand new at $200. Back then, it still just didn't really move the needle in the market, it's such a shame looking back on it, because this is the last generation that Sony attempted a handheld, and I'd like to think that those rumors do pan out and we get a new handheld from Sony, sure, even next year, but I do think that at least makes sense for people who want a portable handheld. Yeah, it'll probably be expensive, but at least it fills in, I think, a niche in the market that could only help Sony because they have the home console. It would be nice to have a handheld that's not reliant on like a home network or just internet connection or what have you there. But yeah, I mean, come on, a white Vita. And it was $50 off at $200, so, not too bad. And look, they even have the gold DualShock 3 PlayStation 3 controller there at $40. This is a fun page because they get into some of the pre-owned stuff that you can buy. So you can get an Xbox 360 for as low as $120, a Wii at $80, PlayStation 3 at $200, sure. But the PS3 was still holding its value, I think, a bit more because of the Blu-ray player around this time. But think about how we have PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series systems that are used, but they follow the pricing right now for the new ones. So they really haven't gotten that much cheaper online, certainly not refurbished ones or certainly not GameStop ones. And I also think GameStop right now, I'll have to check their site. I think their used Wii is more expensive than this one back when it was, I don't want to say it was current, but it was at least somewhat viable in like the current market place at this point in 2012. Oh, and then you can get a Kinect for $40, which I think now you can get a Kinect for actually much cheaper than that even. DSi XL for $80 each. I was never a huge fan of the DSi XL, mostly because the screen, which is already a low resolution on the DSi, was just stretched. I know it did help people who maybe had a harder time with the smaller screen on the DSi back then, even like the DS Lite, but I can start to see the pixels, I feel like, with the DSi XL. And I certainly look back on this time period with a lot of fondness, but also I think back to just how it became more approachable as the generation went on because prices would just come down. And I'm a little concerned that the market becomes kind of used to the idea of game systems just getting more expensive as we go. One, that'll of course cause a massive rush when a system first comes out, but two, that'll probably put people off from just getting into gaming in the future and mostly just staying away from what's supposed to be really exciting as big time games come out, as the technology behind these systems are refined more and more to get a system out that's half the price of what it was at launch. At this time, I would just take any kind of cheaper system versus what we had in 2020 for the PS5 or the Xbox Series, but that's just probably not going to be a reality for quite some time, and now people are kind of bracing for impact for a $1,000 plus system next year. But I just wanted to go over this and just kind of remind people that's not necessarily how it was. Even going back to the old days of 2012, we used to have some pretty good deals going throughout the year, especially at Black Friday, and this year, the deal is going to be finding a system, I think, at MSRP, so it's going to be a crazy 5 a.m. at Best Buy, but let me know what you guys think about this one down below in the comments. Do you remember this time period towards the end of the Xbox 360 and the PS3 generation? And were you someone taking advantage of any of these deals as those systems came down from their original starting price in 2005 and 2006? And don't forget to check out War Thunder for free right now. Use my links in the pinned comment and video description to get the limited time bonus pack that includes the exclusive Eagle of Valor, 100,000 Silver Lions, and 7 days of premium account time. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.